And just like every other time, we are back. My name is Charbel Milan. Today we got,
My name is Jeremy Jones from Georgia Followers.
and this is a time shared. So, Jeremy, just to get you up to speed, this is a time share, the one and only podcast, just trying to bring innovation and light to people like you, people who are out here creating, paving a way, and ultimately, setting an example for others. So, before we
Yeah.
get going, if you just want to give people an intro on who you are, what you do, and then we'll get started.
Yes, my name is Jeremy Jones, and I run a company called Georgia Followers. We basically use all the social media platforms to talk about the state of Georgia and essentially talk about the pride and the culture that's here, because it's one that is different from everywhere else. And been doing that for the last 9 years, and yeah, it's been a fun ride.
Hell yeah,
It's
man.
pretty much.
So I'll just go ahead and run you back on how I found out about everything Georgia. It was back sophomore year of high school.
Wow.
I'm about to be a senior in college now, and I needed to know if my school was canceled for the snow day,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Everyone's talking about, everything Georgia. They got all the updates. They're dropping all the information as it happens. I'm like, all right, we'll check them out. That was probably like, what, 5 years ago?
Wow.
And now we're sitting here now. So that's my backstory. But as far as, your side goes, where did everything Georgia start?
So I want to say 9 years ago, I was making music. I was rapping, and I was thinking like, hey, I need to create this. I wanted to market my music basically, and I was like, let me create a page that talks about, because Twitter had just popped off,
Right.
This was probably like 2009, 2010, and I was like, let me create a Twitter page that talks about local things, and if I could get some type of following, maybe I could like promote my music locally, because I was thinking if I can make it locally, that's how it starts. You make it local and then you go worldwide or countrywide or whatever. So I created a page and started talking about things that were happening locally, and I just saw that people were really interested into that, and that was really a lane that nobody was really exploring on social media at the time. So I just spent a lot of time focusing on that instead of my music. And over the time, it just snowballed into what it is today.
See, that's crazy that you say that because that kind of segues into what I was going to ask. Was it one of those things that, you started, you were persistent and it slowly built? Or was there
Yeah.
like a specific time you can remember that, shit kind of took off?
Yeah, it was one of those things where like I didn't expect it at all to be what it is, and like and that was tough too, because over time I had to kind of adapt to the growth, because I really was I don't want to be I didn't aspire to be a businessman or anything of that nature. So when I started it, I was just like, okay, here it is. And then a year later, it's like, oh, you got all these followers. You should create an Instagram page, or you should create a Facebook fan page, or maybe even create a website, maybe an app. I started having to explore all these things just because of how big the page began to grow. So yeah.
So
So
it
I
was about a
stumbled.
year, you would say, when things got like serious?
No, it's actually it took some time. I want to say I was doing it for maybe a year or two, maybe even 3 years before things seemed like I could start taking it serious. Like, it was a few years. There was a few years where we were making no money off of it. It was just all fun and games. And then we started getting paid to do events and promote for different parties in Atlanta, and that's kind of how I was like, oh, okay, like people are paying for this. Okay, let's see if we can make our own apparel, and so many things really.
Okay, so it was when people started approaching you and they were
Yeah.
like, hey, man, you got the platform.
Right.
We need something. You were like,
Right.
okay, I can monetize this. I can really start to make money off this. Okay, so hell yeah. So, I mean, you got World Star. You have, a couple of the big ones. I mean, you're one of the big ones, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that, like, from the beginning that you tried to do to kind of stand out differently, other than just narrowing yourself down to just everything Georgia?
I don't know. I think that really was it. Really, it was just like there was nobody else talking about our area. So um, I don't think we really did. Oh, I mean, like we would try to talk about the news in a creative way. I'll say that. Like I kind of modeled what we did off of like Channel 2 Action News and like Fox 5 and AJC. And I just always like grew up kind of like knowing about it, but never really paying attention to any of those brands. Not to hate on them, but I was like, all right, well, let me just tell that same news in my own voice, really. So, and like let's also talk about rappers and news about like. So it was really just my own voice and like creating a I don't know, just talking about news in a different way. I thought that was interesting, so I focused on that.
Was there ever like a time that you would say where you were kind of like, all right, like I'm in this, it's working, but I'm not completely involved? But was there ever a moment that you look back to that you're like, damn, like if I would have stopped there, I would have never known?
Uh, nah, I wouldn't say that. I think this is one of those things like how I grew up and where I came from. This was something that I knew from the beginning that was different from like what a lot of my peers have experienced or like have, or been a part of. So even in the beginning days, I kind of knew it was important. So I always focused on it. There was never a time where I wasn't like I didn't care about it, I always cared from day one.
Do you think that that's something like people have a problem with? 'Cause it's specifically for myself, I've noticed with a lot of people, they're motivated. A lot of people are inspired. They're motivated, and that's great.
Yeah.
But they're not dedicated. They're not persistent. Like
Right,
they're
right.
not getting after it day after day in the
Yeah.
dark, grinding. They just want to blow up overnight. And if that doesn't happen in a month, 2 months, they just kind of drop it and move on to something else.
Yeah, no, I think that's a big issue, and I feel like that's an issue with millennials to nowadays. And I'm not hating on them, but I think it's not. It may not even be their fault. You could look at the idea of like social media in itself and like how the algorithm is built to make you have a short term memory, or like just let's find the next thing. What's the next thing I could like? What's the next thing I could follow? And it really, I think a lot of people turn into followers, and like a lot of people see things and they say, I want to do that. Oh, they're making a YouTube channel. I want to make a YouTube channel, but you don't really know what it takes to like, the highs and the lows. You don't really go through the grind days, and like I feel like that's something that I had a step on early in my life just because I played sports. I feel like when you play sports, you kind of know what it takes. Like I studied Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, people like that, and since a kid, I've understood like how much time and effort it comes to put into being great at something. So I do think a lot of people like that though.
There's something about you mentioned Kobe and Jordan. There's something about having that like freak mindset that like it has to happen. Like I don't care about anybody else or what's going on.
Right.
It has to happen for me.
Right.
So on that note, do you think when it comes to a Twitter page, a podcast, whatever it is, do you think that people get in their own way when it comes to being creative?
Well, they get in their own way.
Like, did you ever find yourself kind of like getting in your own way? Like you wanted to pursue a new avenue, but you were nervous. You were scared. Oh, what are people going to think?
Oh,
what if it doesn't work?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. I see that sometimes. And even with me, sometimes like that happens where I'm like, I have an idea and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Or I might be insecure. Like for instance, I've been running Georgia Followers for 9 years. The first 5 or 6 years, I like wanted to make it a secret that who ran the page or like who was behind it. I didn't want anybody to know. I was like a low key. I've always been like a low key guy. But at the same time, I was like, man, it'll be so cool to like start creating content and show and personalize the brand a little bit to make things a little more intimate. So over time, even though I was like, hey, like I don't want to be on camera and stuff, I got to a point where I had to get over that fear and get over like the anxiety of like having my face out there, and I start shooting my own content. So yeah, that definitely does happen. People get in the way. And I don't know why, but it is what it is. I got in the way of myself sometimes, but sometimes I don't,
Was it the kind of thing where, because I know this is what I kind of did when like probably for like the first 30 episodes, I didn't post anywhere. I didn't talk about it because I felt like I had someone tell me this a minute ago back when I was trying to make music. They were telling me that if you're promoting to people that know you, they're going to judge the content based off how they know you. But once you get it past the circle of people that know you, all they have to judge is the content. So all you can focus on is the content. Was it that kind of thing?
Uh,
Or was it like a personal thing? You just didn't want to be out there.
it was a little bit of what you're saying too. Like, it was a little bit of both. Like, it was a personal thing. I've never really, well, I was never really. I just don't like attention like that. But there's also the other side where, what you just explained. You know, where I was like, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I feel you though. I feel where you're coming from. You know, I think I used to think about how my peers would think about me and like my close friends. But yeah, I eventually got over that. But that was a piece of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 years, man. It's
Yeah.
been 9 years. You've been grinding, you've been growing. But it's primarily been Twitter, right? For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it started off on Twitter, but I mean, we have 300,000 likes on Facebook, closing on 200,000 followers on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
We have millions of views on our website, but yeah, it all started from Twitter.
So that kind of makes you like the Twitter god, you know what I mean? You know
Yeah.
Twitter inside and out.
Yeah, I would say so.
I know over 9 years, man, Twitter's changed a lot.
Yeah,
Like-
it has.
It's one of those weird things. Like they're okay with people having like full on pornography, but then
Right.
if you call somebody like any kind of like, well, there's a lot of them, man. Like you can say something to someone and get banned,
Right.
but then like how do you feel about that?
You're talking about what is like doxing people, like
Just the
Yeah.
whole idea, like Twitter becoming so sensitive, but at the same time, it's such an open space.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing too, man. I think Jack Dorsey, who runs Twitter, it's a tough job, man, because you have a platform where people, you know, the First Amendment is supposed to be celebrated on there. People could tweet whatever, but then, you know, if you call somebody a name or you know, call somebody the wrong pronoun, you can get kicked off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I don't agree with it because essentially you're putting your agenda into the idea of free speech, and that I don't think that's fair. You know, that goes against what America is about, really. And I'm not like I'm not conservative at all, but I do believe in free speech. So I mean, if somebody wants to call me a name, they want to call me the N-word, I'm cool with it. You know, let it live. But yeah, I don't agree with people getting canceled. Even with stuff that I disagree with, you know, it's a platform for people to share their thoughts, and if that's how you think, that's how it is.
Yeah, man, it's weird how nowadays if someone doesn't like what you're doing, they got to cancel you. There's no like, all right,
Yeah.
let me not follow this guy. No, he's got to get canceled.
Right.
Everyone's just trying to cancel everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I don't ever feel enraged about anything on social media, really, which is interesting because I've been on it for so long. But like, I've just never really like moved by anything that's like. I feel like some people get really emotional by tweets or like I see a picture. I don't know. I mean, I try not to put too much weight into the things that I see on the internet because essentially, if you think about it, it's not real. I mean, like. If you think about it, it's like this is a phone and there's apps on the phone and like you see all these things on there, but like you really, it's not tangible in real life. You know what I'm saying? You know it exists probably, but like you can't really put too much faith into a person's Instagram account because they're posting the best pictures. You know, they're posting their best version of themselves all the time. So it's like, it's all fake.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of people like they forget that it's just a tool.
Yeah, it's just a tool, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get consumed with it, and then you got people out here who are like influencers, like not even like how you are, because you got a brand. Just people who just become famous for just
doing nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then that kind of becomes like a goal, like, oh, I want to be an influencer.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think part of that is like a lot of people want to do it because everybody kind of has access to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like if I was, I don't know, a construction worker, like everybody couldn't be a construction worker. You have to go through the time of schooling, or electrician, you got to go through some type of school to understand how things work. And like, but with with Instagram or Twitter or any social media platform for that matter, like everybody has access to it. You could sign up today and create your own page. So it seems possible, but like we said earlier, it takes a lot of work and effort to like really build influence or a brand.
That's the part a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
You got to put effort into it, man.
Right.
How long would you say you went before you ever, made $1? And I know that dollar was still negative because you probably
Yeah.
spent a bunch of money before you ever broke even. But what was like the first time where you were like, hey, like, what was the first opportunity that you had to like make money?
I said before, I think it was an event or something like that, and somebody was like, "Yo, we'll give you $100, $200 to like promote this event and tweet about it." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm not making any money off of this. This is a blessing." And yeah, and that was like the real eye opener. That I was like, "Okay, maybe we could do other events. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do that." And but it was probably, I want to say, 3 or 4 years where like I was just doing it, building a following, not receiving a dime. But also at the same time, we didn't really invest anything at the very beginning. We had no overhead. It was just a social media platform. We were using Twitter, so it's not like I invested in thousands of dollars prior to. It wasn't like that at all.
See, it's interesting you say that. I know someone who's listening right now, they're like, Jesus Christ, how many times is he going to say this story?
Yeah.
But I got this one friend. He also wanted to start like a podcast show, doing interviews, whatever it was. And he went out and took a loan for
Really?
like $7,000 to buy audio equipment, cameras. And don't get me wrong. I mean, he ended up being able to pay it back. He did a couple gigs and he broke even. But like when I met him and I saw that, it just kind of shocked me because in my mind, it's all about like, what's the minimum that I can do to just get going?
Yeah. That's how I am too. Like I try to get try to pick at the low-hanging fruit and try to just get something started. And once I get that, if I could build momentum with that, then that'll let me know if I could so like a podcast, for instance, I might try to do something on my phone first with another person and edit that. But like, so for instance, we did a podcast at Waffle House. Thank you so much. We did a podcast at Waffle House, and our setup was nothing like this right here. This is amazing. But
Thank you.
Basically, I bought two mics that will hook up to the USB on a computer, recorded in GarageBand, and me and my partner did a podcast in Waffle House. But eventually, I was like, hey, I want to get to a point where if we could do this consistently, we could add cameras, we could bring, talk to Waffle House corporate and see if they can help out. And but we did a few episodes and stopped. We're gonna probably pick it back up soon. But yeah, like I'm more of like, just let me do the base minimum, be consistent at that, and build from it. Don't try to like shoot for the stars at the beginning.
Yeah, whenever you guys start getting that going again, if you need any help, man, just let me know. I'm
All right.
always down to help.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I've just noticed that for me, at least, I never received any sort of opportunity. I never received any sort of like chance, you could say, to grow or do something. It was always creating the opportunity, creating the chance. And the only way that was able to happen was just by applying a bunch of habits every single day in every situation. And eventually, once you look back, you're like, oh shit, like that created an opportunity. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, man, people just want to sit on their ass until you just put it right in front of them and just sign here. And that's the thing, is, don't get me wrong, the corporate side of, America, they took advantage of that, man, with all these finances. And, you can go get a Hellcat and 3 months, no payment, 36, fine. Like they made it so easy for people to mess up, at least financially.
Yeah.
But I apply that same concept in just like personal growth, man. People, they just want to do the bare minimum and get by. Do you think that there was ever a time that, you encountered an opportunity that only happened because you just completely made it happen? Can you remember a specific opportunity where you look back and you were like, holy shit, like if I wasn't here, and here, and I didn't do this, and that at that time, nothing would have...
Yeah. It's like the butterfly effect. I mean, I think about that a lot, actually. It's interesting. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I've had a few situations like that, man, where, I mean, you could even look at the idea of like our Instagram page now. So we had an Instagram page for 9 years, and it got shut down for copyright claims, right?
What?
Yeah, after 9 years. It was our Instagram originally was just GAFollowers, and that page had 120,000 followers. Got shut down at the January 2019.
Damn.
And so I started the page that exists now. It's called Georgia Followers Official. I should start over from the beginning because to get our old page back, you had to get in contact with the people who made the copyright claims, and obviously we weren't in great standings with them because we used the image from them without giving them credit. So they weren't trying to help us out. So I was just like, let me start a new page. I started a new page, and after a while, it was just that persistence of just like continuing to, post content that people started following this page at the beginning of 2019. Now we have more followers than we had in 8 years and a year and a half, So
Damn,
I look at stuff like that. It's like that. It's just because at that point when our page went down, I was kind of down too. I was like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Like that's one of like that's how we get a lot of our business sometimes. And I was like, man, maybe I don't even need to do this anymore. Like I was having those type of thoughts, but I pushed through, and like now it's bigger than the page that we had before. And we had that page for 9 years. So, I mean, I have a lot of little situations like that where I'm like, damn, if I ain't do this, and this didn't have this bad thing didn't happen, this good thing wouldn't have happened.
Damn. So that's crazy. That's crazy. So was it the name, or it specifically was the logo?
What?
What got copyrighted?
So, on Georgia Followers, we post other people's content.
Okay.
And for a long period of time, I wasn't giving people credit when we were posting other people's content. Like I would just see something and be like, "Oh, that's dope. Let me post it." And that just came from from over the years. We never really posted anybody's stuff. Like it recently became a thing that is like we want credit for the content that we're posting. Back in the old days, like 2015, 2014, like people didn't care. It was just like, it's just the internet,
It's there.
It's just there. Like you shared it, somebody else might share it, and who cares? So, but then we just got, we got a flag. We got too many flags on our account for posting without giving the proper credit. And I didn't even know people were that mad about stuff like that, but I get it. I get it now.
Damn. So now you got to be like from here or got from here.
Yeah.
That's it. You just got to say it.
You just gotta say it.
That's crazy.
Now
You got to
people are
tag
happy.
them.
Yeah, you gotta tag
Oh,
them.
you got to tag them.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
But I mean, that fixed everything. I mean, people are happy. People don't say we steal content, and like there was a period where like people were clowning us for stealing content.
I mean, they were just hating, bro. They were just pissed.
Well, the tough part about it was too for me. We'll post some content. We'll have 1,000 people that love the content, and we'll say comment on whatever it is. But then we'll have like one person that'll be like, yo, y'all need to give credit to whoever this was. So I just always, since there's 100 people that love it and then one person that's complaining, I just never really paid attention,
Yeah.
But after a while, once our page went down, I was like, all right, I need to pay attention to these people a little more. So yeah,
damn, that's crazy, man. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you. I follow a couple pages and they all post the same thing. And
right. Like meme pages.
Yeah. It's probably, but I mean, to be honest, man, that's kind of like a confirmation. Like that means that you were getting up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Holy
I
shit.
should look at it like that. That's a good way to look at it.
That's crazy, man. Because think about it, right? Wow, that's crazy. I can't even believe that. So you went 8 years, and then it was that 1 year you guys got back all the followers plus some.
Yep.
That's crazy.
In the last year and a half, we got more followers than we had in the last 8 years.
Hey, man. So do you got like a team, partners, anything?
No. I mean, I have a partner. His name is Josh, and we've kind of worked with other people over the years, like interns and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's been me and Josh. And we got this guy named Rondell who works with, does a lot of video content for us. Like he's on camera a lot.
Oh, okay. So he's you guys' like talker.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Damn. So it's just been you, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even really know who you were.
Yeah.
Until maybe like 2 years ago. I was in a business class. I go to Georgia State, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in a business class and we had to do like a presentation about a local business.
Yeah.
I did mine about like I don't even know what.
Yeah.
But someone did theirs about
me.
Georgia Followers, bro.
Was it a girl?
Yeah, it was.
Was she white?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but it was a girl.
Yeah, I think I know that.
Damn, that's why. Did she reach out to you?
Yeah.
She did.
Jesus Christ, that's loud.
That doesn't
Yeah.
even sound good.
Right.
Right, I don't get that.
Yeah, I know. I think I know who that was.
That's
I remember
wild.
that. Yeah.
So what did she say when she hit you up? Was she just kind of like, hey?
Yeah, she was like, I gotta do a project, and I mean, I've had that happen a few times at Georgia State, so I'm not completely sure exactly which instance it was, but yeah, a lot of times people hit me up and just say I gotta do a project, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be all for it. I'll give you all the information you need.
You know what I like, man? We've only been talking for, like 25 minutes, but
Right.
I like how humble you are about the situation. Because I've been around people, bro, who kind of do similar things like you with maybe like 12,000, 20,000 followers. And they got the biggest ego. They don't want to repost anything that's anyone's else. They don't want to
Yeah.
shout anyone out. They're just me, 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 me.
Yeah.
But then there's you, right? You
Yeah.
got like the biggest fucking media page in
Right.
Georgia, I would say. And for the longest time, you didn't even want to be in the light. I admire that, bro. If more people started thinking like that, we might actually get somewhere. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
On that note, right? Considering you have such a big platform, do you almost feel like you have a social responsibility to not necessarily like not have a bias, but just to try to be as raw as possible?
Yeah. I mean, and I think that just speaks to who I am too. It's like I like honesty, and yeah. So essentially, I do think about that a lot. Where I'm like, all right, let me just put out the realest stuff. And a lot of times, like I'll post things I disagree with, just to give, because we have a following that, like, we have a conservative following. So there's a little bit of responsibility, but then there's also a side too where it's like, I mean, this is my voice, essentially coming from, it's my voice, but we're talking to the state of, I'm talking to the state of Georgia. And I mean, I like to own who I am too. So in that sense, it's not so much of a responsibility because it's me, it's like, I don't feel like I should be like, oh, I should just do this just because people think about this. And like, no, I do what I want to do sometimes.
Do you think people lose that through social media, that they almost feel like just to be liked, just to get retweets, whatever
Yeah.
it is, that I gotta have a bias towards a subject that I don't even agree with? Do you see a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think like the algorithm is built to make you feel that way. Like you have to. If I post an Instagram picture, like I have to post something that I don't have to, but like if I want people to like it, it has to be something that other people like. Really, it's not what you like. I mean, people can look into what you like and may find something attractive, or like might want to follow you off of it. But a lot of times you kind of have to push yourself in a realm of group thinking and whatever everybody else is doing. I thought about that with this whole, like, recently with the Black Lives Matter. Now I'm a black man. I stand behind it 100%.
Hell yeah.
But the thing I didn't like was like when everybody was posting the black boxes. Do you remember that day? And it's like I don't. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that's posting it, but like it almost became a thing where it's like you had to post it, or you weren't, like, or you didn't support it, or like it seemed like that. And like I don't like how it forced a lot of people to, because that's not how everybody thinks. Everybody doesn't. They haven't been posting about Black Lives Matter stuff. You just want to post a black box because everybody else posting a black box, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it was like God, what was it? It was like silence equals,
Right.
it was some shit about how, like, if you don't say anything, then you agree with
Right.
being
the other-
racist. Like,
right,
what the
right.
fuck? Yeah,
No,
man.
I don't like Instagram for that, but like that, it kind of creates that type of followers mentality, and I think to break that, you just can't put too much emotion into it, really.
So how has it been with all this Black Lives Matter stuff happening and being the biggest media page in Georgia? Have you almost felt like a social pressure? Or is it kind of the thing where you're like, no, like, I'm going to post the facts. I'm going to just keep people up to date. But at the same time, I'm going to try to throw some things in there to lighten people's day? Or has it been?
Yeah. It's more of that. Like, I mean, people may knock me for this, but like at the end of the day, like I post and we post what we want. You know, it's like, so when Black Lives Matter was going on, I mean, I posted a lot of videos regarding the protests and stuff like that. But like, I mean, people, you know, certain people might look at it like y'all not doing enough. Um, Maybe we're not, but like at the end of the day, I created a page. I knew, and now I'm starting to sound cocky.
Nah, nah. Bro, sound however you want, bro. Because if they're hating,
Right.
that's them, man. You did create the page.
Right.
You can post whatever you want, bro.
That's
Keep
how I
going,
feel.
keep
I
going.
mean, over the years, people like y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all need to stop doing that. I'm like, why don't you create your own page and do what you want us to do on yours? You know, build your following up. I ain't gonna complain about what you're doing. Don't complain about what we're doing. But people feel like we should be doing what they want. You know,
That's what I
Yeah.
hate, bro.
I can't succumb to everybody else's thoughts, because if I did that, I probably wouldn't be here.
And plus, like, I'll use COVID as an example, just
Right.
because there's no bias with COVID. It's just after a while, man, like COVID, like just hearing about it, it was just like, Jesus, like I almost don't want to be on the phone. And I'm not saying that's how I feel about Black Lives Matter. I support it 100%. I'm just saying that after a while, it's like something needs to be done. Like we can't just keep talking about it. Like let's
Right.
do something. Like what's the plan? And I just feel like people just want to talk, and they're like, oh well, someone else will figure it out. I'm not the
Right, right,
expert.
right.
Someone else. Then why are you talking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel about Black Lives Matter. The people that it's like, I mean, granted, all the sharing is good and bringing awareness, but it's like, what's the plan? What's the plan to actually fix racism? You know, does anybody have a plan? Has anybody talked about that? Not really. I mean, in little ways, hey, we could do this with the police. We could do this with, but like, there's no, you know, Trump isn't coming out like, hey, this is what we need to do to fight racism. You know, and same like you said, same with COVID. It's like everybody just talk, oh, you shouldn't wear a mask, should wear a mask. You can't go out, can't go out. It's like, what's the actual plan? You know, otherwise you're just making more chatter on the internet.
Yeah, man. I know it's a really basic saying, but like straight up, like some people just don't do it. Like they just got to do it. Like,
Right.
all right, let's sounds great. The plan's great. You know, this beer's great. Let's start the company. I don't know, man. I just, I got to wait till I get paid next week. And
Yeah, nah.
it goes back to like the thing I told you about my friend who bought the equipment.
Yeah.
People want to lose 10 pounds. They want to buy this outfit. Oh, I can't shoot the video. No one's doing.
Right.
Like no one's doing, bro. Like life is precious. And I
Right.
feel like people don't appreciate that. Like I lost one of my best friends like 4 days ago, right?
Really?
And I'm
Sorry
not
to hear
even
that.
trying to like get all
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm sorry, man. No, just straight up, like I just attended one of my best friend's funerals. And one of the things that kind of did for me was it made me realize like, holy shit, like that shit I was planning to do 3 months ago. Like, how can I do that today? Like what I was
Right.
planning to do in a year from now, like how can I get that started now? Like, how can I fix that relationship I ruined? Like it makes you get so right now. You're like, okay, this plan I got, this degree, this
Right.
this scheme that I'm working on to get to this level and that level and achieve these things, it's not promised. And I feel like it goes back to what we're talking about. People are so, well, someone else will do it. Just give it a couple months. No one's doing, bro.
Yeah, I think sometimes that comes from the idea of like people don't fail enough, you know. So it's like, if you don't fail enough, you're gonna be scared to try something new, and you're gonna be worried about the results. But somebody like me has gone through that trial and error process so many times, to the point where like, and now don't get me wrong, I'm still nervous and get anxious about doing some, trying new things sometimes too. But a lot of times I pull the trigger on shit just because I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? That's where my mind goes. Like, what's the worst? They could say no. They could. Am I gonna be hurt? Am I gonna be dead after this? Like, so if that's not gonna happen, then you might as well try it. Shoot your shot.
Right. Yeah, man. So for somebody right now, just because that's great segue, for somebody who's trying to start something, right? Whether it's a media page, Instagram, they're gonna try out for a sport, whatever it is. What would you say to a person who has that fear,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they have the fear from what you said. They've never tried and failed because we have such a band-aid society nowadays. If people don't get the results right immediately or there's too much risk, oh no, I can't. What would you say to somebody who's fresh right now and they don't want to be like everyone else and be so cautious about their moves? They want to dive in. What's some advice you would give them?
I would just say stop being scared. Jump. It's like the idea of like jumping off a cliff with wings and you never flew before. You know, You know, you don't know if your wings are gonna work, but what are you gonna do? Stand on the cliff the whole time? That's not fun to me. I rather die by trying. You know, get rich or die trying. That's how. So I would just say, just do it. Like you said, don't be scared. Do it. Try it. Fail. Fall on your face. Be embarrassed. Do all that stuff. Be vulnerable. You know, that's really what it takes. You gotta be vulnerable.
Oh yeah, man. So what kind of things has everything Georgia followers? What kind of things has that done for your personal life? Because I know you said that you didn't really.
That's the
I just
worst.
hate that, bro. Like
That's the worst. I wouldn't even want to ride that.
that's a moped going
Right.
10 miles an
Right.
hour. Jesus, I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
God, that's so annoying. But yeah, I know you said you didn't go public about it for like the first couple of years, but once you did, like, how did that start to impact your life? I guess we'll talk about the negative and the positive, but we'll start with the positive. From a positive sense, what are some of the things that have happened in your life? How have you been impacted by being the creator of, like, bro, the biggest media page that I know of in Georgia? Like, straight
Yeah.
up, credit where credit's due.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it's hard for me to even like notice that stuff too, because I don't look for it. So it's like, but I mean, yeah, people stop me in public sometimes and like, yo, you're that guy that runs the page. I guess that's cool, you know. But outside of that, I mean, like, yeah, there's probably been a few opportunities that I got just because people notice me. But yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I really don't pay too much attention to that. Like, what comes off of my face being out there. Maybe it's something I should think about more. I don't know.
I don't know, man. That might be the key to success.
Right.
You're just trying to focus on the content.
Right.
Too many people are trying to focus on their face, bro.
Right. No, I agree. You know.
I don't know. It's interesting, man, because it's like you think you want to do something a certain way,
Right.
but then you see somebody like you, and it makes you think twice. You're like, damn, well, what if I just focus on the content?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I try to do. I don't know.
It's putting out something that people really like, I guess, care about. You know. I remember back in the day, I used to think about like everything for me was like, what's shareable? You know, like what is something that somebody's gonna be like, yo, look at this. You know, I want to get in the realm of just doing stuff like that on Instagram and Twitter. I don't care if I'm in front of it, if somebody else is it, somebody else's content. Everything has to be shareable because that's the only way you can grow, really. I think.
I like that.
You know.
So it's just all about sharing, putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Do you have something that people would share to another person? If you do, then you're good. You know. So sometimes that makes you know, you got to find something that's different. That's like with the podcast with Waffle House idea. Like that was something that I was like, man, you know, maybe people would share it because everybody's experienced Waffle House, been in Waffle House, and there's nothing out there like it. So I was like, maybe that's something that people share, and we started getting some traction. But I had to revamp some things. But yeah, great shareable content.
How long ago was that?
Probably like a year ago, year or two ago. Yeah,
I'm gonna check that shit out, man.
yeah, yeah.
Well, where can I find that, or where can everyone find that? Actually,
It's on SoundCloud. It's on Apple Podcasts.
okay.
Yeah, you can subscribe. I'll probably pick it back up soon. So yeah,
Just everything Georgia.
Well, it's called a late night breakfast show.
Oh,
Yeah,
late
I'm
night.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
because the Waffle House. Damn,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't even think about that. Late
Well,
night breakfast show. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's on. If you go to Apple Podcasts, you'll find it. If you type that in, and
Hell yeah.
it's really raw. Like we just, you know, I mean, I try to do what I would normally do in Waffle House is just go in there, sit down, talk shit, drunk, you know. So essentially, what it is.
Bro, you'd be surprised how many people are into that shit.
Right,
bro.
right.
Especially the fact that people are so scared to talk shit nowadays because they don't want to get repercussions.
Right.
Everyone wants
Yeah.
to be so sensitive. And
See, and and I feel that too, because it's like you don't want to alienate people, you don't want to, but like that, I guess that's one of the perks of, you know, having something for so long and being, you know, working at it for so long. It's like you get to test things that most people can't, you know.
exactly.
Like try it, you know, like, oh, okay, somebody might complain. There'll be some people that like it too. So,
Damn. Has there been any like negatives that have come from like being personally associated to the page?
not really. I wouldn't say so. I mean, some people complain that we're more progressive, but I mean, that's who I am. So,
I don't know, man. It's interesting to me. It's interesting the concept of following and having a platform. It's like it's one of those things where if you talk to somebody about it like 100 years ago, they'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right,
You know,
right.
if people aren't right in front of you, no one's gonna care to hear what you got to say.
Right.
But nowadays, people almost don't even want to do this. They don't want
Right.
to sit down and just have a real conversation. They just want to text back and forth. Oh, I can't talk right now. Just tweet, and everyone will argue on Twitter. But
Right.
I'd love to see someone say something in real life because they won't.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Damn. Hell yeah, man. So where do you plan to take everything, Georgia? What are some of the things, next steps? I know it's hard
Yeah. I mean,
to go from here. I mean, damn.
I mean, one of my biggest goals is just building our team out. I haven't. It's always been like me and my partner, but I want to get to a point where we have like a nice sizable squad that can help me build the brand bigger than what it is. I honestly think when it comes to Georgia followers, like I've experienced probably like 15% of what the success is to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I think there's so much. Hey, excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I get barbecue sauce? Sorry about that.
Barbecue sauce.
But yeah, like so that's one of the things. I mean, we also trying to move into a realm where we're creating more organic content. That's another thing that I've just started exploring recently. It was like shooting our own content. We always posted other people's content. Now I want to get other people and start using the influence that we have and bring it back to us, or bring it back to, because we'll talk about Atlanta United, we'll talk about Waffle House, Chick-fil-A, and that's really just sending the influence that we have to those particular brands and benefiting them. I want to get to the point where I'm benefiting Georgia followers and building our brand. So bringing that influence back to us. I mean, I know we already have it with the page, but like on a personal level, people I know, and connections I have. So that's content is another thing, and events. I want to do way more events than we do right now. Thank you so much. Okay.
So you want to do like personal events, like physical interactions?
Yeah. And like instead of being all online, like let's bring people together, and maybe, and that could be like food. I don't know. Last year we did an event at this place called Velvet Taco, where like
you guys rented it out, right?
Yeah.
And they got the shipping container in the front.
No.
Do you guys did the Jamaican style tacos?
No. But no, that wasn't it.
Damn. Okay, I was about to say it was like a pop-up taco thing where they rented a place and they did their own thing through it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like rented the restaurant, which was already a taco restaurant, which is weird.
Right.
But it was like another company just did like a pop-up restaurant.
Okay, that's actually a good idea. No, we did something where Velvet Taco let us like take over their patio, and I was like the first. We tweeted out the first 60 people to RSVP could come, and they got a free drink and free taco, and yeah, a lot of people came out, and it was dope. People got to meet us and like hang out with us for a minute. So do more stuff like that, and not even having me involved, but just for the people, but events that we're curating.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I like that. I noticed earlier, and I wanted to save this. You talked about something that a lot of people are trying to get into, especially considering we were talking about how sensitive Twitter is. I know YouTube is starting to trip at people. And you already got banned off, not banned, but you already got your account deleted off Instagram, even though, screw Instagram, you guys rose back up and now you surpassed the following. But just all those kind of issues, man, are just causing people to want to just have their own, their own space. And you mentioned you guys wanted to do an app. So what are some of the things that you're trying to incorporate in the app?
Well, that was something that we had an idea for that like a long time ago, and I really never looked back into it, but we were trying to like have it was just like everything that was on our website was going to be transferred into an app, because back then like apps were a big thing, but like I don't think apps are as big as they used to be.
I feel like they're going to come back, man.
Think so?
I don't think that the concept is going to come back, because like you said, everyone can make an app, especially with all these game apps. It's like a new one every week. After Flappy Bird, it was over. But
right.
I think that not necessarily the concept of an app, but the concept of owning your own content. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think as the world gets so sensitive, bro, and everyone's starting to walk on eggshells, especially a platform as big as yours. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, there's going to be like a good majority of people that are like, no, screw this guy or screw this page. I don't want to go download your app.
No.
But then again, there's going to be a lot of people that do.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think it might make a comeback. I'm not thinking of making an app. That's down the line. But, I mean, I definitely do like the like independence behind the app. But you said you have a website.
Yeah, we have a website.
What's the website called?
GeorgiaFollowers.com.
Georgia Followers. Okay, so is it everything Georgia or Georgia Followers? Like, which one's the trademark?
Georgia Followers.
Georgia
but
Followers. Damn. Okay.
Everything Georgia is like our tagline, kind of.
So that's like the new thing.
Yeah. Not new. I mean, we've been using it, but like, it's just our tagline. It's like McDonald's. I'm loving it. You know.
Oh, okay.
Like
I see what you're
everything
saying.
Georgia.
I see.
Yeah.
And then you guys got the E and the G.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just fine, man. I
Yeah.
like it. I was explaining. I think I brought the page up like a week or two ago.
Mhm.
I brought it up, and the person had no idea what I was talking about. But then I showed them the picture, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I follow that."
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, "What the hell?"
That's how it is. I mean, that's really how it is for a lot of people. I mean, like, I'll tell them what I do, and they're like, "No, I think I follow that." I mean, literally every person I talk to says that. Oh, I think I follow that page. Are you running that page? I recently bought a chain, a diamond chain with our logo, and I've been getting stopped a lot. People are like, "Yo, I know that logo. I think I follow y'all on Instagram." I'm like,
See, that's when a chain is an investment.
right.
Everybody's copping a chain, bro, right when they sign, and
Right.
they could be buying property.
Right.
But I guess
Mine's is marketing tool.
right.
I thought about this the other day. It's funny how, like, when you think about anybody really who can get a chain and like, and I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but more so it's like, who can get a chain that people know the logo? And there's not that many people that could do, like, you could be a rapper and have the nicest chain. Like, you could be the Migos, and there's no logo they can put on their chest that, like, people are like, oh, I don't know who the Migos are, but now I know because of that. And or you could be an athlete. What, you gonna put the sports team on a chain? Maybe. I've never seen that before though. But like, yeah. So it's like, it's interesting that, like, I feel like I'm not one of the few people, but I'm one of those people that can, like, create a chain and, like, people really know, like, I'm connected to the brand that's on there.
Nah, you are though. That's
Yeah.
crazy. See, I didn't even think about that. I like
That's what
that.
made me get it. It was just because I noticed that. I was like, who else can get a chain and people know the logo like that,
Did you go to Icebox?
No, I went to this other dude named Sonny the Jeweler.
Sonny the Jeweler. Hey, Icebox taxes, from what I heard.
Yeah, they do.
Sonny took care of you.
Sonny took care of me.
That's crazy, man. I've never heard anybody talk about a chain as an investment and not be full of it. That's
Yeah.
legit an investment. Damn.
Yeah, part of me was like, I didn't want it. Well, at the beginning of the year, I was like, man, I'm gonna get a chain this year. But I've never been the one to look for attention or anything. So, but yeah, that was the main factor that made me want to get it. It was just the fact that I knew people were gonna be like, yo, I know what that is, and that just helps the brand out a little bit.
No, that's fine, bro. I actually fuck with that. I never thought about that. The concept that, like, because you're right, there really isn't anybody else that can do that. Damn, I don't even think I could do that. Damn, that is pretty dope. Damn, dude. All right. Hey, man. Believe it or not, bro, we're almost at an hour. So I just want to ask you. I like to ask everybody this, but like, what is something that, like, you would want to leave a person with who's been listening to us today? Like a message that they can carry in their own life from you personally. Just keep them going, especially during these tough times, man.
Off the top of my head, I would just say, your work ethic is everything. Just keep working hard. Just keep going, because you only live once. As cliche as that term or that saying is, you really do. Like, life is precious, like you said, and just keep working hard, be consistent. I think that's one of the things in my life that's been the most, like, beneficial reminder. Is like, hey, just be consistent, even if it's bad sometimes. Like, just you don't want to be one of those people that live on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You just want to go straight down the road and make some turns here and there. Find out where find out what's dope on those turns and come back to the road. But yeah, I would just say stay consistent.
I like it. Stay consistent.
Eat healthy, stay consistent. As I'm eating tater tots.
Hey, bro. Hey, at least you've been consistently eating the tater tots. All right, so this part is going to be hard because I bet everyone already is. But, before we go, man, if you want to shout out the Twitter page, the Instagram page for someone who's out of the loop, I don't know how.
Of course. Please follow us on at GAFollowers on Twitter. Is GA and the word followers. And on Instagram is Georgia Followers Official. And on Facebook is Georgia Followers. or everything Georgia, either way. So that's it. And my personal Instagram is Jeremy Pop Jones.
Jeremy Pop Jones.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy guy,
Well,
and
thank you.
I'm not just saying that. I know you really are a very busy guy, but yet you still managed to give us time to share with us, to give us an in-depth look on what's going on in your life. Because on a time shared, man, the whole point of this show isn't just to, I mean, yeah, okay, it's content, why not? But it's my mindset behind it is exactly that. If we can pull out the mindset behind Jeremy,
Yeah.
behind this guy, behind this girl, behind this business, if we can just get the mindset of what's going on, because no one's gonna have the same path. And that's a big mistake people make, is they're like, oh, I'll start a page and I'll be just like, no one's gonna have the same path. But if we can just dive deep into the mindset and see what's going on in there and how can I make that fit my life, maybe we can get something. I feel like I've got something out of just, reviewing people's mindsets. And that's the biggest thing. So I just want to go ahead and thank you so much for, meeting with us today, bro.
For sure.
And, hopefully it's not the last time, but, just like every other time, I'm Charbel Milan. Today we got
Jeremy Jones.
And this is the time shared. Thank you so much.